Several years ago, I made a few cutting boards using exotic woods like bobinga, cocobolo, Bolivian rosewood, ebony, padauk, leopardwood, lacewood, zirconi, and many other woods. I sold several, but kept a few and used them for display purposes in my home, like these photographs I'm showing you. Some examples of wood that I might use to make a cutting board. This is a piece of cocobolo. And you can kind of see, well, you can kind of see from the end how interesting it will look when it's milled. The other end looks that way somewhat. It's got some really nice streaks in it. And this, I believe, is a piece of ebony. It's very dark, especially when it's milled up. This, I believe, is a piece of padauk, has a reddish cast, and this is a piece of maple. But it's a very, very hard wood. So, and this is a piece of spalted maple. This is the end grain that you're looking at, and that would be the long grain. So I like to put this side up because it's way more interesting than that. But if I put this facing up, it's end grain, so it's really a natural usage for a cutting board. But I'll cut these all up into sizes like this, but longer. I'll show you that. Some longer pieces that kind of gives you an idea what I end up starting with. There's a piece of Goncalo. I think it's from South America. These woods are either from South America or Africa, and they're very interesting and very textured and detailed. You can see this zebra wood here has these really defining streaks in it. Very interesting. So I glue all of those up, but I alternate, you know, like I'll put something like this in there or something like this next to something else, and maybe a piece of the darker wood or the reddish wood. So they're all alternating, so they make an aesthetically pleasing, you know, colors and textures and contrasts. And then you can see they're all uneven. They have to be run through a planer. So after they're all glued up, I run them through the planer, both sides, so it's completely flat. Then I cut it to size. And then I may take this, once it's all cut, and cut it and flip them alternating. So this would be here, and then on the next one, it might be over here, so like this. And then, let me show you what I mean. So it might look like that. It might look like, take that and then offset them, perhaps a halfway or something to make it unusual. This actually is a scrap cutoff from a cutting board that I made of the spalted maple end grain. But I did this one all out of the spalted maple. And it's a bit tricky because they may want to move. So after I do this, I seal them and seal them and seal them with a butcher block, food grade safe oil to really seal them well. Okay, so this is a box that I made using one of those cutting boards. I split the board evenly down the length of the entire board, and I used those two pieces for the front and the back of the box. The ends of the box are made from chunks of spalted maple, showing the end grain. I added this live edge top of orange sage wood, and then I added these hinges at the back, and I added a rub and buff antique gold to them. So, I didn't like the box top that I had on here. Although the orange sage is quite beautiful, it weighed a ton, and it just didn't seem to work well. So it's the same box with all of those exotic woods, leopard wood and cocobolo and Bolivian rosewood, and it's right through. It's actually a cutting board that I cut up, and then I added these spalted maple ends to both of them. And then instead of using the orange sage, which weighed a ton, I went with this Wormy Chestnut. It's from a 100-year-old or 150-year-old barn. You can see the wormholes that are a result from the chestnut blight in the 1920s the wood was attacked by a beetle, and that's the result. But I think it's cool. And there's the top. And you can see the hinges I painted with a rub and buff, a antique gold rub and buff. I don't know if that's too close to focus. How about that? Anyway, so that's the piece. Here are some final shots of the box. If you like my video, please click the thumbs up button or subscribe, and I'll be showing more of these boxes and other things that I make. And I may even be selling this on my Etsy site, which I will list at the very end of this video. And you can go there and check out the things that I have for sale. Thanks for watching.